Hey everyone, Jeff at Tidy Bytes here for week 3 of Apps Month in Tidy 24. After a couple of weeks getting rid of the apps you don't need and then silencing as many as possible of those that remain, we have a pretty straightforward task this week for the apps that made the cut. React immediately. The whole point of the first half of this month was to cut out or reduce the things that aren't important. So, hopefully, everything that's still there qualifies as important and therefore deserving of our attention. One quick side note here. If that doesn't seem true as you continue with this month's tasks, if you still feel like the apps you're using, or especially the notifications that demand your attention, aren't important, consider reviewing weeks 1 and 2 again to see if there's more you can cut out. Now, back to reacting immediately. This is a specific application of what's sometimes called the Ohio principle, meaning only handle it once. The idea is that any piece of information that has your focus should be dealt with right away, rather than taking even more of your time and attention in the future. Practically, this doesn't mean every task or project, no matter how big, gets done start to finish as soon as you begin thinking about it. The Ohio principle is more about how you deal with little things that come up throughout the day, especially unexpected things. For example, let's say an email comes in and generates a notification on your phone because you didn't turn off email notifications last week. It's okay, neither did I. So the notification pops up and you see the sender and the subject line. Now what do you do? For better or worse, your attention has shifted from whatever you were doing before. At this point, you have a few different choices. First, you could dismiss the notification and do nothing with the email. This choice could indicate that it shouldn't have distracted you in the first place, so you might want to add a rule or filter in your email tool so similar messages are automatically filed into a different place that won't trigger notifications. Most email tools have this functionality, and it might take some time to set up, but it's worth it. I allow email notifications through to my phone, but only about 10% of what I receive is allowed into my main inbox that triggers notifications. Second, you could ignore the notification entirely, planning to get back to it later. This choice means you're treating your notification system as a passive extension of your inbox, which is not what it was designed for. You can check and read your email whenever you want to, right in your email app. Don't let attention-grabbing notifications derail your focus if you don't intend to do anything with them. Third, you could take the Ohio approach and process it right away, since it already has your attention. Having seen the subject and sender, you might be able to delete or archive the message right away without even opening it. Order confirmations, shipping confirmations, or promotional emails you aren't currently interested in are prime candidates here. One of my favorite little joys in life is long pressing on an email notification that just arrived and deleting it after taking note of whatever bit of information it passed along was. I never even have to look at it in the context of my whole inbox. It's just gone. Now, reacting immediately doesn't always mean full closure on something. Sometimes a notification arrives where following up completely can't happen right away, or would take a lot of time, even hours or days. The Ohio method doesn't mean we have to do it all right away. It simply means we should take the information contained in that distracting notification and put it wherever it will be most useful for our future selves. The notification is what we're handling, not necessarily the entire task. So what would it look like to put something where it will be useful for your future self? Imagine that a notification arrives saying that you have a credit card payment due in 10 days, but you're waiting to pay that until after you get paid at the end of this week. Rather than letting that notification stick around for a whole week or dismissing it and hoping you remember on your own, take 30 seconds and add a dated task to whatever to-do system you set up for yourself just a few weeks back during Tasks Month. Just write pay credit card bill and pick some weekday between when you get paid and when the bill is due. Then dismiss the notification and you're done. That distraction is now gone, and the simple follow-up task related to it will return to your attention once you are ready to do something about it. One word of caution though, reacting immediately with the Ohio principle tends to push us towards dealing with what's right in front of us at the expense of what's actually important. So it's good to have some guardrails in place. The simplest one is the 2-minute rule, which means if you can't finish a task in 2 minutes or less, it should go on your to-do list or calendar instead. In light of all that, here are your action steps for this week. Step 1, When a notification appears and grabs your attention, identify your next action on it as quickly as possible. Step 2, if you can do that action fully in 2 minutes or less, do it. If not, put it on your to-do list or calendar, depending on whether it needs to be done at a specific time or not. Step 3, dismiss the notification. Aim to maintain an empty set of notifications on your device. If you can do it for an hour, try for the whole day. If you can do it for a day, try for the whole week. The main goal is for you to practice dealing with interruptions quickly so you don't have to worry about them later. Now, one hint for next week, if you find yourself being interrupted more than you expected, take note of which apps or services are most to blame, and we'll use that information to make some adjustments and figure out how we can do even better. For now, practice reacting immediately and the Ohio Principle and the 2-minute rule, and I will see you next week.